she went in and said she felt a lot, and they kind of wrote her off. They didn't listen. They said, there's no way, you're too young. And she kept saying, but I have a family history, and they just didn't think it was possible. She wanted a mammography, and even though she asked for it, they didn't give her one. And I think that that kind of taught her a lesson, and it happened 2 or 3 times, and then finally she insisted, and that's when they found it. She wasn't going to let this happen to anybody else. I mean, having been diagnosed at such a young age, she was determined that this should not happen to anybody else. And that's, I think, when she started to think about how she could help.
She would go out to regional high schools, and she would speak to all of the women at the high schools, the young ladies, and make sure they understood the importance of self-breast exam, of getting mammograms when they got to be that age. All of that was part of her mission to help detect breast cancer early, because she knew that it saved lives. We're here to help women discover their breast cancer early so that they can be treated early and have a long, wonderful life with their families. We love partnering with the Parker Family Health Clinic. They are a wonderful organization who provide medical services for women who can't otherwise afford them.
CMMF Foundation is geared for our population of patients. Those individuals who have absolutely no insurance, no way to pay for even the most simple of medical care, let alone an expensive science, which genetics is becoming, and which the whole field of breast cancer is becoming. The funds are used probably in large part for the support of our nurse, who's devoted to women's health care.
And from there, the patient applies for charity care, and if for some reason they can't get charity care, maybe they make a little bit too much money, or they can't come up with the right documents, then we can go back to the Miele Fund, which has been very beneficial to help the patients, because it really gives them peace of mind if they can go through that testing. And then we coordinate care as far as any follow-up after that's needed. If something comes back abnormal, we let the patient know, and then point them in the right direction so they get the care that's needed.
Back in 2009, when the economy hit, my husband lost his job after 30 years, and that meant medical insurance. And it just happened that I was scheduled for a mammogram 2 weeks after he lost his job. So a friend of mine had said they went to Parker a number of years ago and worked wonders for them. The next step was Janet had called and saying that we can try for genetic testing. Being I had the criteria with the family history, but fortunately, I don't have the BRCA genes, and it opened my eyes to say, you got to take responsibility. Parker was more or less here, say, you have to do this, go for your tests. It was done, and I appreciate all of that. It's been 8 years. This is like a second home. And without them, I don't know where I'd be.
I came in just for general care because I couldn't afford insurance. And so immediately I was given a referral for a mammogram and well-woman exam. So during the mammogram, they discovered a suspicious mass that they didn't like. Nurse Janet, the care specialist, and she was the one who consistently called me to give me an update on the process and what my options were. She explained very clearly what the medical issues behind what I was facing. I had not had a mammogram in so long that this would have just continued to go. And that's really, to me, that's the part I'm most grateful about for Parker, is that because they accepted me initially in the first place, and I went through this whole process and was so supported by Parker, I found something that if I had just been left to my own devices, I would have let it go. I would still be there, and who knows what condition it would have been in now.
But thankfully, through early identification, the outcomes are improving day by day, year by year, so that the doomsdays of yesteryear are becoming fewer and farther apart.
Chris would love what we do. She hated to be the center of attention, and she wouldn't like that, but she would absolutely love what we are doing with this foundation. She'd love the fact that we're out preaching early detection. She would love the fact that we are helping underprivileged women. She would love the fact that we are defeating breast cancer before it can take root. She would be tremendously happy with all of our efforts.
The whole idea of paying it forward, I think that the foundation is really the ultimate paying it forward, because she's really helping people with this. I think she'd be really, really happy.